use the word destiny over and over throughout the book. What does that mean to you?
It's a feeling you have that you know something about yourself nobody else does. The picture you have in your mind of what you're about will come true. That's kind of a thing you kind of have to keep to your own self because it's a fragile feeling and you put it out there, somebody will kill it. So it's best to keep that all inside.
Revisit your dream. It doesn't cost anything to dream. And our dreams need auditing. As you go into this next year, it shouldn't just be doubling down on the same dream. Really take some time and evaluate your real purpose. D.L. Moody said, our greatest fear should not be that we fail. Our greatest fear should be that we succeed at something that doesn't matter. And so if you really believe what you're doing matters, it gives you a peace through turmoil, through difficulty, through ups and downs. If I fail in the attempt to do something that matters, I can live with that.
You do realize that this could be the year that you change your life if you just lock in? Me and you both know you didn't stick to the script last year, but it's okay though, because this year we come for everything that we lost and more. We ain't hearing the excuses no more. Your future is tied to that. You're the only one that can make it right, but you're also the only person that can mess it up. Lock in and change your life, like your life depends on it, because it do.
Understand that 2025 is right around the corner, and if you want to make the most of it, this is what you're going to do. Work on your personal craft because it is only through a project that you are genuinely able to improve. And most importantly, take action because you will accomplish nothing unless you go out there and will it into existence. If you're able to do all of those, I guarantee that you will have the best year of your life.
How much did they first pay you to give up on your dreams?
27 grand a year.
And when were you going to stop and come back and do what makes you happy?
Good question.
I see guys who work at the same company for their entire lives, guys exactly like you. They clock in, they clock out, and they never have a moment of happiness. You have an opportunity. This is a rebirth.
I think having a purpose is that thing that makes us tick, that gets us up every day and gets us over the hump of opposition and adversity. And the reason that I champion adversity and opposition is because I think for the most part in life, people pretty much know what to do when things go right. Right? Like when things go right, they know how to feel, they know how to act, how to react. But it's when that opposition and that adversity comes and it creates a level of misunderstanding, right? Now the vision is blurred. Now you don't have clarity about what you're supposed to do. Now you question if your existence matters. And I think when you have a purpose, it's powerful because in the midst of the opposition, it makes you realize that you've been put here for a certain reason.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, and if they can't stop you, then you become something else entirely. Which is? A legend, Mr. Wayne.
This year, you can't fear change. In one of the beautiful passages in meditation, Marcus Aurelius reminds himself that everything in life comes from change, good and bad. And by trying to keep things the same, not only are you, of course, focused on something that you don't control, but you're preventing yourself from all the wonderful opportunities that exist that could come your way. We live in a time of disruption. We live in a time of institutions that are falling apart. We live in a time of innovation, new institutions that are being created. So you can't fear what's going to come of that. The Stoics would say all you could focus on this year is embracing those things, adapting yourself to change, acquiescing to that change, rather than fighting it, rather than fearing it, rather than resenting it. Because it's going to happen regardless of how you feel about it. So what you should focus on, the Stoics would say, is what you're going to do about it.
Life is hard on the good days when you expect so much of yourself. And when the bad days come around, keeping the promises feels almost impossible. I wish I could explain to you the pit in my stomach in those moments, but I'm not sure I have the right words, to be honest. Somehow I always see the other side of the promise kept, though, and the difficult part is that it doesn't provide the relief you'd hope it would. My only consolation at times is that I know I did the right thing to maintain who I am, because that is the one thing I cannot let myself lose.
One guy came over to me frustrated. He goes, man, I keep on failing. Took me 4 times to pass the bar. I'm trying to start my business. I keep on failing at that. The whole time he was talking to me, I started smiling. He goes, why are you smiling? I said, because you missed it. I don't see failure. I see grit, determination, drive, sacrifice. Failure means you're trying. A whole bunch of people out here never fail, because they never try. He said, how do you handle failure, Goggins? I said, I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt. One thing in life that's for sure. The valiant motherfucker always wins. Stay hard.
The year's almost over. It's been a tough year, right? But we're not going to talk about that right now. This is for making it through this tough year. There's been a lot of good and bad, but I'm happy that you've made it this far and that you're still here. Thank you for hanging in there, and I'm proud of you for staying strong.
If you wish to be the king of the jungle, it's not enough to act like a king. You must be the king. There can be no doubt, because doubt causes chaos and one's own demise.
Start something you believe in and give it everything you have. Not for the applause, not for the outcome, but because it's yours. Focus on the work. Let it consume you. Take small steps every day and watch how they compound. What feels impossible now becomes inevitable over time. Forget perfection. Forget shortcuts. Mastery lives in repetition, and the timeline for greatness is a lifetime.
And you come out the other side and you realize how much you grew through that, you start becoming grateful, right? One, you become grateful for what you just went through. You become grateful for the past experiences, but also you become grateful for when you are going through tough situations in the future, because you understand that literally the situation and the season I'm in right now is developing me in a certain way that maybe I can't see right now, but I know that if I keep showing up, keep taking it day by day, step by step, moment by moment, I'm gonna come out a better version of myself. Man, I'm grateful for that.
There's a quiet kind of pain in starting over. It feels like failure, like all the effort, all the time, all the dreams you poured into something have been erased. Like you're back at square one, staring at the wreckage of what could have been. Starting over isn't just hard, it's humbling. It forces you to face everything you thought you'd left behind, your fears, your doubts, and the heavy weight of regret. But here's the thing, starting over isn't the end, it's the beginning. It doesn't feel like that though, does it? When you're in it, when the dust hasn't settled, and all you can see is what you've lost, it's hard to imagine that this could be the start of something better, something stronger, something worth all the pain. And yet, that's exactly what it is. You see, life isn't linear. It's not a straight path from point A to point B. It's messy. It's filled with detours, dead ends, and moments where you have to stop, turn around, and begin again. And that's not failure. That's life. The people who never start over. The ones who cling to what's broken because they're too afraid to begin again. They're the ones who stay stuck. They're the ones who never grow, never change, never find out what's waiting for them on the other side of the storm. Starting over is an act of courage. It's standing in the ruins of what you thought your life would be and saying, this isn't where it ends. This is where it begins. It's choosing to believe that no matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how many times you failed, you still have something left in you, something worth fighting for. And here's the truth. Starting over doesn't mean erasing everything that came before. It doesn't mean forgetting the lessons, the strength, the resilience you've built along the way. It means taking those things, those hard-earned truths, and using them as the foundation for what comes next. Because every time you start over, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And that makes all the difference. Think about a tree that's been cut down. On the surface, it looks like the end. The trunk is gone, the branches are gone, the leaves are gone. But deep beneath the soil, the roots remain. And those roots, they're still alive, still strong, still capable of growing something new. That's you. No matter how many times life has cut you down, your roots are still there. And from those roots, you can rebuild, you can grow, you can rise. But rebuilding takes time. It takes patience. And most of all, it takes faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the process. Faith that even though you can't see the end yet, it's worth the work. And it is work. Starting over means showing up every day, even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when it feels like you're getting nowhere. It means planting the seeds of your future self, watering them with your effort, and trusting that, eventually, they'll grow. And they will grow. Because that's what life does. It grows. Even in the face of loss, even in the face of failure, even in the face of uncertainty. Life has a way of finding a path forward, of creating something new from the ashes of what was. And you are no different. You are life. You are growth. You are the possibility of what comes next. Starting over also requires something else, the ability to forgive yourself, to let go of the mistakes you've made, the opportunities you've missed, the times you've fallen short. You're not perfect. You never will be. And that's okay. Perfection isn't the goal. Growth is. Progress is. Becoming a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more yourself every day. That's the goal. So if you're standing at the edge of a new beginning, unsure of whether you have the strength to start again, let me tell you this. You do. You've already survived the worst. You've already faced the pain, the heartbreak, the loss, and you're still here. That means you're stronger than you think. That means you're capable of more than you know. And when you start again, when you take that first step, it's not going to feel monumental. It's not going to feel like a movie montage where everything suddenly falls into place. It's going to feel small, quiet, maybe even insignificant. But that first step, it's everything. Because it's proof that you're not done yet. It's proof that you're willing to try. And that willingness, that's where transformation begins. Starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means you're brave enough to keep going. It means you're willing to leave behind what no longer serves you, to let go of the life you thought you wanted so you can create the life you're meant to live. And that life, it's out there, waiting for you to take the steps, to put in the work, to believe in yourself enough to try.